So I'd like to thank everybody for watching my Chronicles. I've finally monetized. I'm making like $1 a day now. Like $1.20, 80 cents some days. I made like a total of like $7 so far. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm just happy I'm getting paid something. So let me start this story. This is literally my first rental. So I was working at Walmart in 2014. I got my rental in the end of 2014. I think I started paying on the mortgage in February. I met this guy previously to working at Walmart when I was working at Terminix. That was the job before Walmart. And I got a house. He didn't really mentor me. He kind of mentored me a little bit. He just like helped me out a little bit. And so I got the house in Fresno. This is like around the summertime. This is like probably like June. And like I didn't know if I was gonna live in a house or if I was gonna rent it out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was just there. I was paying the mortgage. The mortgage was like $826. I was putting like $1,000 on it. I was paying like a little bit over $100 a month going towards the principal. And I met up with him again. And he was like, man, what are you doing with the house? I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, well, you should rent it out. And I was like, okay. So his wife was like a realtor. And she like, I put out her sign in front of my house. Like the next day I was getting she was getting phone calls and she was taking them for me because she was like my realtor or whatever. And the girl, she was like, I wanted like $1,300. She wanted to rent it out for $1,250. She was like, well, can y'all do something in the middle? Because she really wanted to rent it out for $1,200. So she was like, can you do $1,250? And his wife was like, you don't have to do that. We could just keep on figuring out if we get somebody that wants to give you $1,300. And I was like, no, we could do that. Listen, when you're renting a house, your price is your price. I don't care what it is. Your price is your price. Screen the tenants. That's like the first red sign. If they're trying to negotiate the rental rate, then they don't have it and they're more than likely living amongst the means. So your price is your price and that's it. Now, if nobody wants to rent it out for that much, then it's probably too much. But if somebody's calling you up the day of and they want to do it, then 9 out of 10 times you need to just take your time in who you're gonna rent out to. At the time, I really wasn't doing too well, so I wanted to rent it out to whoever could afford it. And then she could afford it. So we rented out to her, and then I think half of the deposit went to his wife. So I was kind of mad about that because she didn't really do anything. She didn't put it on the MLS. She didn't even put it on Zillow. She literally didn't do nothing. She just answered my phone call. Like I literally paid her $750 to answer my phone calls. Like she did nothing. I think I even did the agreement sheet. I think I'm not sure. This was like 6 years ago. This was 2015. So we rented out to her. Like look, the house was like fully furnished. Like I think my parents, they upgraded the furniture, so they gave me like a couch and then like a red seat, and then there was a bed in there too. I think it was like a bed, I think my sister's old bed or something like that. So the house was like fully furnished. And the person that I bought the house from, they left the washer and dryer. So the house had a washer and dryer, refrigerator, oven, microwave, a couch, a love seat, and a bed. Had all that, $1,250. Like I could have put that on, if Airbnb was popping back then, I probably could have put it on Airbnb and made way more money, but it wasn't, I didn't know of it back then. So I rented out to her. This is how it always goes. Like, just keep in mind, if you negotiate a price 9 out of 10 times to rent out your house, 9 out of 10 times, it's gonna go bad. So I want to say the first 6 months it went well. And then she just started like complaining about stuff like the washer, like the dryer, the little knobs like broke off. She wanted that replaced. Like if you have a washer and dryer in there, that's extra. So if that breaks down, you should tell your tenants to like, hey, look, that's extra. You know, you're supposed to really bring your own washer and dryer. So if that starts breaking down, it is what it is. If you can replace it, if not, then that's fine too. But I shouldn't be replacing that. But I did. I replaced the knobs. And then like a couple of like months later, she started being late, like religiously. She was late, like all the time. And then before it was time to pay rent, she would always like complain about something, like there was a leak coming from the toilet, or she like had they're working on the gas outside in front, and she was like, oh, I need to talk to y'all about, and it'll just be something that didn't matter towards the house. I remember she like, the HOA like flagged her one day because there was like mold growing on the siding. Like she should have took care of that. Like she was living with her baby father and her baby. Like this man wasn't even working. He was just like at the house. She had a full-time job. She was making decent money. I think her son was in daycare. Like he wasn't even taking care of the baby. He was just like at the house. And so like, I think things just started getting really bad for her. Like, I think she started Ubering after she got off of work. She would Uber for like until like 11, 12 o'clock at night. Then she would go back to work the next day. It was just like, in my mind, I'm like, you have a healthy man at your house. Like, even if he got a misdemeanor or felony, like he could like have like a hustle or something. Like he could go, like, I see guys picking up like scrap metals in front of people's houses and taking it to C&D scrap metal, like just some type of hustle, like to contribute. And he wasn't doing anything. He was like watching TV all day. Like as a man, like I don't know how you could do that. Like your woman is providing your rent, taking care of your son, and I think he was like cleaning. I don't even know if he was cleaning and cooking. He was just there all the time. Every time I was there. I remember one time the garage door couldn't go down, so I had to go over there and like manually he didn't even know how to manually put the garage door down. I remember one time the lights went out, like something was wrong with the breakers. I had to go over there and switch off the breakers. Like he was even if I didn't know about real estate, I still would know how to manually put the garage door down or to mess with the breakers to turn the lights back on. Like, he didn't know nothing about anything. Probably because my father showed me how to do those things. But as a man, you can Google stuff. Like it's so easy to figure out stuff nowadays. Like I think he was just watching TV, laying on the couch all day. Like it made no sense. So I think she was in there for like a year. Like it never failed though. Like when rent was due, she would always be complaining about something it was always like the toilet, or there was like a leak in the sink, just like little like small miscellaneous stuff that wasn't like a big deal that she would make a big deal. I remember one time she was saying that the fan wasn't working and it just started working too slow or something like that. Like she would make a big deal about anything. Like what she showed me is what a lot of tenants do. They will, before they pay you your rent, they're going to complain about something. They want that fixed before they pay you the rent. And that's illegal. You can't do that legally. Like, I don't care what's wrong with the house. You got to pay on the first. After the third, you got to pay your landlord late fees. It doesn't matter what's wrong with the house. I just got into one of my new tenants. She told me like, hey, until you fix this over here, I'm not gonna, she's like, I got your rent, but until you fix this over here, I'm not gonna pay you. And I made it clear to her, like, hey, look, that's illegal. Like, if I deny the rent, I could start the eviction process because you're already about to be late. So if you want to play these games, we can play these games. Like, if they try to play with you like that, like, you got to tell them, like, that's illegal. Like, you cannot do that. So that doesn't happen to me anymore. I make it clear, like, hey, look, when you got the rent, you need to pay me. I'm gonna fix those issues, but I need to get my money on time, and I'm gonna fix those issues. Like, stop playing. Like, don't play those games with your tenants. It will keep on going. So I want to say like a year transpired, and then like she started having like her church started paying me. Her church was paying me for like 3-4 months straight. And then like, I think a month later, she told me like her, like one of her friends' house caught on fire, and then could she give them my furniture? And like, I knew what she was doing. I knew she was gonna sell the furniture so she could pay the rent. And I was like angry, but I was like, all right, man, whatever. And then like after that, it was kind of like, I was already going through the roach house. I was going through it with that idiot over there. So when she was trying to renegotiate the rent down, I was like, absolutely not. 1 month she was like, can she pay me this month with her deposit? And I was like, how, like they don't like, where do they do that at? Like we don't like every month she would try to figure out something how to like not pay the rent. Like she had a church pay me for like 3-4 months. And then when the 4 months was done, she was like, oh, I thought they was gonna pay you for this month. And then she would go get, she would know. Everything was like a mind game with her. And then finally she emailed me and she was like, hey, look, this ain't working out for me. I don't think this is working out for y'all. Can y'all, I'm gonna move out like in 30 days. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, when she said that, I was already like in trouble. This was like 2018. This was like my worst year in real estate. I was like in trouble. Like, I was going through with the guy with the eviction, and then she was always late all the time. And I was either gonna do one or two things. I was gonna fix, cause she messed up the carpet completely. I was either gonna do one or two things. I was gonna fix it up a little bit, rent it out for more, but I put a for rent sign before she moved out, and I didn't like the way people was talking. Like people didn't want to rent it out for $1,300 or even $1,350. I didn't even put it on Zillow. Now I probably would put it on Zillow. Now my wife has her realtor license. I could put it on an MLS, and I could get my whole deposit. I don't have to worry about going half with a realtor. And so next time I'll probably try to rent it out before I sell it, but I just sold it because I was like things was getting pretty hard for me. So I sold it for $145, but it appraised for like $130 because the house down the street sold their house for like $130, and it was a bigger house than mine. So I think I had to sell it for $130, or the seller or the buyer had to come up with the rest. They had to come up with like $15,000. And at the time, they didn't really negotiate it properly, so I had to settle, and I made like $20,000. I should have made more, but it is what it is. I look back at it now. If that was me now, I would do whatever I needed to do to keep that house. But it is what it is. I sold the house. I made like a little bit of money. I was able to continue. I still got some more rentals down the line, as you can see. The whole situation was just a learning process. Like I figured out like how people, like a lot of them do that. Not all of them, but a lot of them do that. It was just a whole learning curve for me. Like that was my first rental, and I learned a lot from it. That's my story. If you guys can look at my links at the bottom, I got the Weeble link, I got the N1 Finance, I got the Robinhood link, I got the public link, and then I got my course at the bottom as well. And I got the Discover link. So if y'all could sign up for all those, I can make a little bit of money. You could make a little bit of money and then get free stocks. We can all move forward. Please like, subscribe, and share it to somebody if you think it's informative. Y'all have a nice day.